But the radical left in this country is truly radical, and as radical as Hillary Clinton is. Her government-run health care, her representation of the Black Panthers, her involvement in the Nixon impeachment where she argued he shouldn't even have a lawyer. A radical left agenda. Apparently isn't radical left enough now in Ameritopia with Barack Obama. And so they're putting out all this stuff about her foundation and her husband's foundation and who contributed to what. Now the media's on top of that, sort of. Now her emails. Where did that come from? More on that in a moment. The question is, did Hillary commit a crime? The question is, should she not at least be investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office, if not Main Justice? I want to remind you that yesterday, General David Petraeus pleaded guilty to one federal charge of removing and retaining classified information as part of a plea deal. Removing and retaining classified information. You see, folks, classified information doesn't belong to any government official. It belongs to the government. It belongs, in essence, to the American people. You're not allowed to take it home. It's not your personal property. And so the question on the Mark Levin show is, this server that was running out of Hillary Clinton's house in Chappaqua, did it have classified information on it? What happened to that information? And is that not, in fact, a removal of classified information from a government entity, a government facility, to a private person in her home and her own server? Petraeus allegedly provided classified intelligence information to his lover, Broadwell, while he was director of the CIA, the married mother. Okay, enough of that. During his time as commander, enough of that. Goes on and on. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, he pled guilty to removing and retaining the information, not conveying it to somebody. Now that, it seems to me, is a problem for Hillary. Is it not? Am I missing something? Yes. Now, our friend Shannon Coffin over there at National Review, he looks at it from another perspective, the Federal Records Act. He says, there's a little doubt that email has been covered by the Federal Records Act since its adoption by the federal government during the Clinton administration. State Department's own manual has plainly provided since 1995 that email records must be preserved under the Federal Records Act. So he asks a second question about criminality. So was the use of private email allowed when Clinton was Secretary of State? Well, some of it. He says, I suspect every federal employee has at some time used a private email account to conduct business, but that doesn't excuse failure to comply with the Federal Records Act. Best practices have always been that an employee using a private account for government business has to either print the email, which rarely happens, or copy or forward the email to the employee's official government email account for preservation. Now, you know Hillary didn't do that because her entire purpose was to conceal her official activities. So the question on the federal criminal side with respect to this aspect of yet another Hillary Clinton scandal is whether she committed a felony when any custodian of official government records willfully and unlawfully conceals, removes, mutilates, obliterates, falsifies, or destroys the same. Now, unfortunately, in our litigation against the Environmental Protection Agency, we felt we had more than demonstrated that this department had willfully destroyed information by refusing to search in the proper places and so forth. The court just didn't want to go there. Even though the court admonished the Environmental Protection Agency. He said, well, basically we can't read their minds. No, but their actions do infer many things that enable us to read their minds, but it's water over the dam. So, is there going to be a criminal investigation? Not prosecution, certainly not yet. Criminal investigation into whether or not Hillary Clinton violated her responsibility to retain classified information and not remove it from a government premises, which she clearly did. I mean, she set up a server. I mean, do you need more evidence than that? In her home, running out of Chappaqua. And then number two, under the National Archives regulations and the Federal Records Act, did she retain the information she was required to retain, even though she had it on a personal email account? I'm certain she didn't. So will the Obama administration unlaunch a criminal investigation of Hillary Clinton? I don't know. I suspect that would be a little too open. They prefer to work in the shadows and behind the scenes. Which brings me to my next point. I'll mention it now, and then you'll hear the backbenchers mention it tomorrow. I don't much care. Which is this. The Republicans don't have access to these emails, didn't know about the servers, despite stumbling all over themselves on Capitol Hill and the Benghazi matter. This was leaked. It was leaked by somebody or persons who knew about it, trying to do maximum damage as fast as they could against Hillary Clinton. to try and persuade a leftist like Elizabeth Warren, an absolute kook, to get into the race, to see an opportunity that Hillary's crippled or at least hurt. Now, I say if she's the nominee, you know they'll goose-step, immediately turn on a dime and back her, but that's not my point right now. Somebody leaked this information about her emails. They leaked the information about the servers. They went to the New York Slimes. That's the paper record for the left, certainly not us. And now they've gone to the Associated Press with even more information. This is an inside job. It's an inside ideological Democrat job to take her down a notch or 10, or to take her out, to clear the path for a more aggressive leftist from their point of view. I think she's leftist enough. The intrigue of Washington, huh? It's like the old Soviet Union under Stalin.
Videos picked up Mrs. Clinton, saying she had stopped using email messages because of all the investigations she had been through.
I've been investigated on that. You know why?
Right, yeah.
But my God, why would I ever want to do email?
No,
Can you imagine?
no.
As much as I've been investigated and all that, you know, why would I don't even want. Why would I ever want to do email? But you kind of have to do email today. And so she just decided to set up her own covert system out of her house. So the American people, through the Freedom of Information Act, wouldn't know what she's doing, and Congress wouldn't know what she's doing. Then, Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State on the Today Show, October 2011. Hat tip, the Today Show, cut 9, go.
You mentioned technology. I have to wonder, how many people have your personal email address? Do you use your BlackBerry a lot? Do you like technology? Are you good at it?
You know, I'm okay for someone of my generation, I'm okay. But no, I have a lot of security restraints on what I can and can't do. But I do try to stay in touch as much as possible, and electronically is by far the easiest way to do that.
I have a lot of security restraints on what I can and can't do. Well, she didn't seem to really pay attention to that, did she? Because whether you remove them physically, that is documents from your government facility and files, or remove them electronically and bring them into your home, has she not, Mr. Producer, committed the same crime that Petraeus just pled guilty to? Now you'll hear everybody mention this, ladies and gentlemen, and that's okay, but you know where you heard it. I just got to thinking. And the timing of the leaks, I think that's not coincidental either. I mean, I put it together. Now we have Jay Carney, June 2nd, 2011, lying through his teeth about this administration. Now, remember what I said. The administrator at the EPA was using a personal email account she set up, and same with her texting. Others over there did the same thing, and others throughout the government have done it. So this isn't a one-off thing. This is a policy within this lawless Stalinist administration. Cut 10, go.
What is the U.S. government's policy towards personnel having private Gmail accounts?
Well, the U.S. government policy, or certainly the administration policy that is effective here, is that all of our work is conducted on work email accounts. That's part of the Presidential Records Act.
Is it the policy that you're not allowed to have a Gmail account for private use or another non-governmental?
No, that's not the policy.
So there's no policy in place that would say certain members of government, senior officials, are not allowed to use Gmail accounts at all for private use?
Well, again, if you're talking about private use, that's just different from work use. We are definitely instructed that we need to conduct all of our work on our government accounts as part of the...
All right. Yes, you're a liar. Always were a liar. Your whole damn administration's been using the private accounts.